issue. I have joining me from Abuja via Skype the Chief Press Secretary to the INEC Chairman, Mr. Kayode Idowu, who joins us to give us an insight into the old scenario from March 28th to April 11. It was a situation a lot of Nigerians expected. Remember that the elections at some point were postponed by 6 weeks and a lot of reactions followed. But this time around, we have the elections done and dusted, concluded. Mr. Idowu, thank you for joining us. Tell us, what is your commission's statement about the elections? Would you rate yourself as successful or, well, impressive in this election so far?
Thank you, Sean, for having me on your show tonight. Yeah, I dare say that all is well that ends well. The country, not just the commission, set out on this journey, and yes, we have come some rough road, but at the end of the day, I think the country has pulled it off very, very successfully. And you will also agree with me that we improved along the way. There was incremental value added to the political process. And therefore, the April 11 elections were much, much better than the March 28 elections. And the elections we had yesterday were by far better even than the April 11 elections in terms of, by all indices, in terms of the logistics deployment, in terms of the functionality of the candidates, even in terms of the security that was provided by the security agencies. And so the country has come a long way, and I think we can afford to all look back with some savoring of the entire thing, and thank God for it.
Interesting that you introduced two major things in this past election, different from what we saw in 2011 April. This time around, you had a PVC, the permanent voter card, and of course, the smart card readers. With the success that you talked about, is it just possible for us to look forward to electronic voting in 2019 or any other election, for that matter, in the nearest future?
Yeah, you see, the commission has provided a template that will make that very, very possible and easy to accomplish. But fundamentally, there has to be a change in the legal framework. You and I know that the major obstacle to electronic voting today is Section 52 of the Electoral Act that says the use of electronic voting machine is forbidden for the time being. In the recommendations that the Commission made to National Assembly since 2012, it was in there that clause should be eliminated, such that even if the country cannot go in one fell swoop to electronic voting, you can have some pilot scenarios where gradually the country can roll out electronic voting. And so if that is done, if there is that change to the legal framework, I'm very sure that we are just a short stop from electronic voting.
All right, interesting. Let's talk just in another few minutes about the issue of the smart card readers. I understand that your commission told us earlier, before we went into those elections, that there was a portal. There is a place in your office, headquarters there, where you have the data collected on each of the smart card readers across the country, and you can see it there in Abuja. Tell us more about that and how that panned out at the end of the day.
Yes, the smart card reader collects the data of everybody who is accredited, including those that were biometrically authenticated and those that were physically authenticated because their fingerprints could not be read as far as their card has been read. Now, that data is sent to INEC Central Server. And so we have that data on the server by which you could do a demographic analysis of people who come out. And I'm sure in a matter of days from now, will be in a position to provide full information about that. Already the number of people who came out is part of the things that the returning officers of the respective constituencies made public as to how many people came out and got accredited and participated in the elections. And again, you can match that against the number of registered voters in each of the states, which is already public information in the register that we published since January 13th. So the card reader gathered the information, and that information is being collated in our central server and will be in a position to make the demographic analysis available.
All right. Tell us, the turnout that we saw, about 43% turnout in April 11, and of course the March 28 election, also March 28 rather, it was slightly above 40%, and April 11 it wasn't any better. What is it not a concern for your commission when Nigerians do not come out to vote? Half of the population who registered do not come out to vote.
Honestly, it's a matter of great concern. You are spot on. And it is hoped that the more confidence grows in the electoral process, people will, as a matter of course, want to participate in the process. I suspect, I'm just doing some guesstimation here, I suspect that the interest in the first set of elections was relatively high because it was the national election, that it involved the presidential election in particular. And so people were willing to have a say in that. Now the second set of elections, which actually should have attracted more interest, ironically attracted a lower level of interest. But again, you will see that perhaps that also derived from the kind of the level of desperation that we saw, which manifested in the violence, the rate of violence that you saw in that set of elections. And that is why, again, if political actors begin to play by the rule, it is becoming more and more obvious that there is no other way to winning elections than convincing the public, and any other recourse to self-help.
All right. Before
counterproductive.
All right, Mr. Idowu, before I allow you to go, just briefly tell me 5 of your members, officials, were said to be having arrested in Umuma yesterday in Imo State. What is the state of things? Have you identified the people who are said to be arrested who were thumb printing, and what is the situation of things? Quickly, just tell us before we allow you to go.
The resident electoral commissioner, I got the information, I read it in the news that the resident electoral commissioner did say that he will provide that information, and I believe that that will be done in a matter of days. But the fact remains that those people were arrested.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Kayode Idowu, for talking to us, the Chief Press Secretary to the INEC Chairman, Mr. Kayode Idowu. Many thanks for joining us on the program.